Hey everyone, this is Josh from before, and I'm here today with the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman. This is the Red Sun variant, and I say variant because this is basically a repaint of the original Wave 1 Superman, which was an excellent figure. I got him right here. I'll do a side-by-side later. You know, repaints, they're just something we have to deal with. They're just part of the game, and I know they frustrate some people. But, you know, at least this is a repaint of a really great figure and a cool Elseworld, you know, prominent Elseworld story. And I think it's great. I wasn't expecting to actually even pick this up. I saw it and it looked far better than I thought. And I'm looking forward to getting into it now. We'll take a look at the box, which is, you see, Superman Red Sun. I don't know what the decision is. Like sometimes, you know, like the Dark Knight's Metal will have that different logo there. I don't know why they didn't put, you know, Red Sun there, or why they don't always have the logo from the source material, but that's what they've got. And the artwork on the back, which is the key art from the Red Sun comic book. And if you are a hunter, you know, I don't know if this information helps you, but there's some numbers there that you can plug into BrickSeek or whatever. Yeah, so like I said, it's a repaint. You know, it looks, they've been doing this thing where they put the character kind of, you know, in a pre-pose. They've been doing that the last few waves. This is a good one. You know, he's just got a little bit of, you know, the knee lift and just a little bit of motion in there that makes him kind of pop. It's a great looking figure in the box. And I didn't have a lot of opinions about the multiverse boxes until I started doing some reviews of like the Mortal Kombat, and I did some of the gold label ones like the Mandarin Spawn, and those boxes are really nice looking. You know, nothing wrong with this black multiverse box. It looks modern and it looks clean, but maybe a little plain compared to some of those other toy lines. But I think I'm gonna get right into this. No need to spend too much time gabbing about it. I haven't actually read Red Sun, but it seemed like a cool concept. I'm not necessarily like a big Superman expert, and I know there's one of the animated movies too. The DC animated movies, they're fine. The animation style doesn't really like do too much for me. Just a little too like serious and kind of just, I don't know. Plain isn't the right word, but just not my cup of tea. And if you've seen any of my reviews before, you know I'm crazy about that new toy smell. So I got to get a big. Does anybody else love that new toy smell as much as me? Like, if you do, like, leave a comment, because you know, I don't want to feel like a total weirdo. All right, here he is. Make some first impressions here right out of the box. So you can see the new face sculpt where he's got some darker features, you know, more of a, you know, the Eastern European, obviously Russian sort of features. And he's got this hair really looks good. It's got like a blue little dry brush on there just to make it kind of pop a little bit. It gives it an extra dimension. And the face sculpt, the emblem here, and the cape being the new sculpts for this repaint. Everything else is the same. The body is that Wave 1 body. The diaper piece, you know, the underwear here, that's all the same. But man, this is, I mean, if you've seen that other Superman, you've already seen this body mostly, but it looks great. I wasn't crazy about, what I loved about that first Superman is it had a really vibrant paint job. And then I saw this one, I was like, well, those colors look kind of dull. I'm afraid, you know, it maybe won't look as impressive in person, but it looks awesome. It looks really good. You know, all these figures, this whole line, they feel really sturdy. They just have a little bit of heft and a sturdiness about them that I just, you know, they feel great in hand. I mean, I expect everything will move like, yeah, this is a really good head sculpt, and it's got maybe like a little bit of skin tone kind of softly sprayed there on the edges of his face and down on his jaw, and it really pops. I feel like sometimes these the multiverse characters are maybe light on paint, which is, you know, it's just part of why they keep costs down, or how they keep costs down, I should say. And it is what it is, but you know, they're incrementally kind of getting slightly more elaborate paint jobs, at least on some of them. And this one, this head sculpt looks really good, and the paint, I mean, his cape is a little bit more static, or kind of still than the first Superman, and it looks great. I love that little sort of taper down here. Just all these folds, wrinkles, they just look really good. They go right into his sort of his boat neck here. You know, I can tell you right now, the blue on the emblem is a little bit off from the rest of the blue paint on his body. And it's not, you know, it's not as visible, and so when you see it in some sort of lights, but sometimes you see it and there you see it's just not quite maybe a perfect match. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just an unfortunate reality of when the paint goes on a different kind of material, but that's what we're looking at. Let's move them around a bit. Obviously, the McFarlane butterfly or rocker joint, I don't know what they call these, but and this one maybe is a little snug, but generally I mean, I really love these shoulders. They can just, you can make some really subtle changes to the body language with these characters when you're posing them because of these shoulder joints, and it makes a big difference in my opinion. I love it. This thing is very ready to be posed. It's not stiff at all. You know, we know. If you haven't seen that other Superman, it's a great figure, and obviously this is the same body again, like I said already, but got a little bit of twist there. I've talked about this before, but like, I know a lot of people complain about there not being thigh cuts on these multiverse figures, but when this joint works correctly, this is, I mean, for me, just as good as a thigh cut, if not better, because there's nothing, you know, no ugly cut right there. But sometimes the way this plastic runs into the piece, the sort of pelvis, the piece right here, it doesn't have as much. But yeah, see, you loosen it up a little bit, you're getting a little bit of play there, and it's a nice feature. He does a full crunch. He's got the briefs, the diaper, and most of the time, I really, really love this. Sometimes, you know, the sculpt can be a little cumbersome, getting in the way, but I much prefer this to sort of the Marvel Legends, where they have that big hinge, clearly visible, and you can see all the way to the like inside of their butt, you know. So that works for me. I mean, you know, if you do this and you're starting to see a little bit of that hinge, you know, it is what it is. But it's still, to me, better than that Marvel Legend where you can just see all the way through the gap. Double knees. Oh, there's a siren in the background. Should I let that go by? All right, double knees. So, yeah, again, if you've seen that first Superman, you know what to expect here, but just we're going through it again. This is a new figure, technically, so let's go through the motions, literally here, articulation motions. You know, as far as ball joints go, sure, sometimes they look a little loud, you know, they can be a little obnoxious, but you know, it is what it is. That said, when they do stuff like this where they kind of tuck it in under there, you know, all the functionality of the ball joint works, but it's just slightly, you know, it's just slightly tucked in under there, and I think it makes a big difference. It looks great. It's a nice, nice touch. I mean, you know, considering this is a repaint, I feel like there's not as much to talk about maybe, or not as many surprises, but I mean, the fact of the matter is it's a handsome looking figure. It's sharp. And as far as what it comes with the same 2 hands that the original Superman came with, which is, you know, nice. You know, sometimes it feels like maybe these multiverse figures aren't accessory heavy. So I'm happy to have any new accessories, and they're definitely light on, you know, having different heads and hands, which this one is kind of a accessory hand, kind of a gun hand, which, you know, I don't know why Superman's got it, but it is nice, especially if you're doing mods or custom. It's nice to always have an extra pair of hands to play with. And then, excuse me, it comes with the card, of course, with the same key art on the back, but it's got these flight stands. And if you've never seen one of these flight stands before, they're really good. They're, I would say, above average. They do everything they're supposed to do. They don't, they're sturdy. They don't kind of draw attention to themselves with the way they look, with any extra sort of details on the base or anything. So they're not a distraction. So it's really great that it comes with this. I was very annoyed when both that Sky Tyrant Batman Who Laughs and that infected Superman, they came out and they didn't have flight stands, which seems bonkers to me. And I know they were part of a Build-A-Fig wave, and it's not that they were light on accessories or anything, you know, especially those massive wings that the Batman Who Laughs came with. But you can't give me a character with huge wings and not have a flight stand. Like, what do you mean? And then this Superman Infected, don't give me a Superman character and not give me a flight stand when it's, you know, when you from the get-go said flight stands are a part of what you have to offer. I'm going to get this out. Yeah, if you've seen these before, I'm, you know, sorry for going back through well-worn territory, but, you know, that just pops in there like that, and then you're ready to go. And then the flight stands, you know, because of the way they hold the figure, it does tend to push the cape out a little bit, which isn't always my favorite thing in the world, just because, like, a lot of times these capes are sculpted to hang in a specific way, so you know, it makes me feel like that throws that off a little bit. I mean, this is a great looking figure, obviously. It's fairly plain on the paint job, you know. It's got the black briefs, a little black cuff on here, and as far as just like the detail, well, you know, those first wave of figures weren't nearly as detailed as some of the more recent ones we've been getting. So, you know, this will have a little bit of texture maybe on his suit, like on the side, but that's about it. Everything else is pretty smooth. It doesn't have like the infected Superman where you can see sort of the wrinkles of his costume and things like that. It's a little more simplified. So here he is next to that original suit. You know, obviously the cape on the original one had a little bit more personality, and you know, the original had that really vibrant paint job, which It's just not what they're going for with this Red Sun one, so it's understandable. And yeah, you can see how these guys stack up next to each other. It's the same figure, you know. The new details are nice, the new head sculpt's great, but it's the same thing. Obviously, the original one had that little more of a flared, more dynamic sort of cape, you know, that was being blown by the wind, where this one is a little more still. But, I mean, let's just look at them side by side. Really see the differences in the face sculpt here. This is the All-American Boy Scout, and this is the bad guy from Queen's Gambit. So one thing to know is if you expected this one to correct the problem of the original Superman and give him a full like heads up all the way, sort of, you know, so he could fly horizontally, his head does not, you know, give you that full look. But when you put him like this, as if he's, you know, sort of taken off, you know, that works plenty fine. And I think that's about all I got for this one. You know, it's a repaint, so it's maybe not as fresh of an experience when you get them out of the box, but it looks great, especially if you're a fan of Red Sun, that storyline, or just a Superman collector in general. You're gonna have to pick this one up, and you know, I think it's if you're into this, it's gonna make you happy. I'm not even into it. It makes me pretty happy, and that's I think about all I got to say about it. I will say I just want to say thanks to everyone that's been watching and commenting and subscribing and liking all the videos. I just started this channel a couple weeks ago, and we're already up to like 80 subscribers. A couple of the videos have a couple thousand views, and the feedback's been really amazing. So that just is really exciting, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and I hope you guys are having fun watching these videos. I got a lot more coming, both reviews and some custom dios and custom paint videos that are on the way. And we're going to be having a lot of fun here on From Before Figs. So if you want to subscribe now, you'll be in the loop when all those next videos drop. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.